Alright, so here's today's project. I'm just going to show you how to make an axle at home for maybe your own trailer or some machine like this. Okay, a little bit about this piece of equipment. This is the tractor that pulls it, and this is a really old giant vac. It still works, so we use it to clean up leaves on the golf course, and it has a big vacuum on it. It's down there, or you could take the hose off and suck up piles. So it's got this big old Wisconsin air-cooled engine on it, really ancient, very, very loud. So here's what we got. It used to have axles right here, and a guy was driving it. This is like the first year I worked here, and the guy was driving it, and it snapped off. So they said, you know, what can you do? We need this thing. We're in fall. We need it fast. So this axle, I started cutting it out, you could see, and it just went back in there and hit another piece of metal. So trying to get this out and send a new piece inside wasn't an option, and I had to work fast. So went to Tractor Supply, picked up this axle, welded it underneath, and the funny thing is after it got welded in, it made it that much higher, and a guy was used to driving under a gazebo and hit it and tore the whole gazebo down. So that was kind of funny. Okay, so one of the first things we have to determine is the back spacing. I can't just make the axle a certain length just based on the whole length of what I need across with the stub axle, the stub hub. And so what I have to do is I have to figure out the back spacing, right? Because I don't want the tire to be, you know, cut up and weld the axle and have it hit in here. So here's what we got first. First thing you got to do, mount your hub inside your tire. This hub came from Northern Tool, and I got the square stock from Granger Supplies. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to lay this across this level to get a straight edge, and where I'm going to cut, here comes some noise, hold on. Okay, where I'm going to cut the axle is based on the back spacing. So at the minimum, I'd have to be, to get it to the bottom of the tire where that level comes, or the back side of the tire, I'm going to hook my pipe up here. I have just about just a little under 2 inches. Okay, so that would be my minimum. Let's just call it 2, and you add the other side in, that makes it 4 inches. So now what you do is you measure the rest of the distance with your axle. In my case, I think it was 46. If I take a look at the old axle, it went across, maybe, oh, was it 47? 47. So let's see if you could see that. Yeah, all right, 47. And then I would need 2 inches per side, so that would be here, and then 2 inches more. All right, so now what you want to do is basically check it just one last time with your wheel. And if you're really unsure, you can make a piece of tubing or something out of something cheap, cut it up, and put it in there just before you waste your good pipe. Okay, the other thing you're going to need to know is you want to make the tire and wheel in the spot you want it, not just based on measurements, you know, for different reasons. Like I want this tire to be more in, you can see it is going to be greatly in from the old axle, and I want it, but it's going to be more in line with the front caster up there. So basically it'll be a better combination. You're less likely to be out here and the operator doesn't think about it and clip something. So what we're going to do now is we're going to find out that distance and add it to the backdrop that we just measured, because if you add the two together, that's going to give us the additional length on the axle per side. So I've got this level touching the back, and I'm just going to measure off of it. It's touching the tire and it's touching the old square stock. And it's just about 2.5 to the far side of the level that's towards me that's touching the tire. So that's going to be what we need, plus the backdrop added to it, which was almost 2 inches. 2.5 inches, 2.5 and 2 inches. That equals 4.5. And then you have the other side, which will be the same exact thing, and then you get 9 inches. So you get 9, and you add it to the length that this is. That's 47. And if you need a little handy chart, I found this when I was ordering the stub axles, the stub hubs from Northern Tool. And you could just put your measurements down. I have the 47. I have the 4.5 times 2, which is 9. Add that to the 47, and I get 56 inches that I'm going to have to cut my square stock. So that's what we're going to do next, and then we're going to weld. These are bolt-on or weldable hubs, so we're going to weld ours. Otherwise, you'd have to weld the flange on for the bolts, but that's okay because I'm making this a bolt-in with U-bolt axle. If anything happens to it, I can unbolt instead of having to grind all the old welds like I'm going to have to do on this one. Okay, got the level. So I'm going to cut it here. That's our 56 inches, but to make sure I'm actually putting it in, mocking it up on the machine. Now if you can't, I'm setting it on the top. Now, if you can't do that, maybe you could use zip ties or something to hold it underneath or wherever you got to do. I'm going to put, I want to make sure the camera can catch this. No, it can't. Okay. Okay, so how we're going to do this. So this is where I'm going to cut it, 56 inches. And then I'm going to hold my level here, bring it up to it, and we're going to measure from this side, which is up against the square tooth, and bring it out and push it in 4.5 inches aside, we said, to the tape. So that's about right. Give or take a smidgen. This isn't that crucial of an operation that I can't have a smidgen off, but now the other side, I've already done it, and this math here with a level and the tape, and it's the same thing, 4.5. So we know that the measuring is right, and I should feel comfortable and safe cutting this off right here and welding it up and have it fit in the machine properly. Okay, next step, put the axle together. Okay, let me show you something else real quick and a quick solution for it, because if you don't have a CAD machine and a CNC machine and all these crazy things that I don't have here, and they're not going to buy it for one stupid job, you got to improvise and come up with something different. So, and simple and fast, because the longer I spend on this, more things are going to come in broken for me to fix, and I'll be behind in my work, which I don't like that. So this is 3 inches inside here. It's going to fit right over from underneath, hold this new axle up to the old one after I cut the one from Tractor Supply that's underneath off. And what the problem is you can see the difference. It's going to bang around like this, and it's actually going to steer the equipment. So what I did real quick is I made out of a piece of round stock that's perfect in size, welded it to one side, and it keeps it from moving. Perfect, easy, quick, and done.